Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Na asanteni sana kwa wale ambao mnazidi kutupiga jeki kwa channel hii. If you're watching this video, click that subscribe button and remember to turn on your notification bell, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula alias Papa wa Roma, has given a verdict on which coalition should take the majority and which one should take the minority in parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, I can generally say that it's evident Kenya Kwanza is out to revenge on the Azimio. You know, Azimio has been, through the ODM party, has been a party for a long time, has opposed so many things in parliament. This time round, the Kenya Kwanza has decided it is humiliation until the 5 years or 10 years are over, ladies and gentlemen. Moses Wetangula has exhibited a language that was used by the judges at the Supreme Court when they were giving a ruling, when they were giving a verdict on the general election petition filed by the Azimio. You remember how the Chief Justice Martha Koome used an abusive language to deliver the verdict. He termed it as hot air. In short, it was the submission by the Azimio was entirely nonsense. Hot air simply means nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Now, today, the parliament almost went up in flames after the Wetangula's verdict. Yesterday in my video, in fact today in the morning, was it today or what? Yes, today morning, I analyzed on the reasons why the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto, rushed to Parliament as a way of demystifying the position of the President, that he's a hustler, yes, and he can freely mingle with anyone. But I told people and my followers that visit, as much as it was seen as an impromptu visit, it had a mission. And the mission was to make sure that by all means, today's ruling from the Speaker has been made in favor of the Kenya Kwanza coalition, ladies and gentlemen. Moses Wetangula, in his long judgment, or I can call it a verdict, he raised some issues using a very strong language against the Azimio One Kenya Alliance coalition. As much as there are constitutional agreements the coalitions made on how parties are supposed to join a coalition and how they are supposed to exit a coalition, of which constitutionally the timelines had not elapsed. But in his own powers and understanding, as per how it was discussed yesterday through the visit I told you, they have decided in their own powers that yes, Kenya Kwanza has the majority in parliament. And Kenya Kwanza garnered the majority out of adding the parties that purport to be disassociating themselves from the Azimio coalition. Ladies and gentlemen, illegally disassociating themselves from the Azimio. If you watched that statement from Moses Wetangula, the statement purported to insinuate that Wetangula has no powers to resist friends who have decided to join them, but did not express to Kenyans what are the constitutional coalition agreements that was done, which gives a way forward on how parties are supposed to exit a coalition after the general election. But as far as I understand, because I read all the submissions made by members of parliament from the Azimio One Kenya, the Azimio One Kenya coalition party. Ladies and gentlemen, I read part of the documents, and I have been reading part of the agreement which parties entered themselves into to aid Azimio Kenya Kwanza. Ladies and gentlemen, the timeline had not yet elapsed. But then, as they say, nothing is impossible in Kenya with money na kifua. So to me, I can shortly say that Moses Wetangula has used kifua in parliament to unconstitutionally instill Kenya Kwanza as the majority coalition in parliament. The language from Moses Wetangula was demeaning. It was a language of revenge. You saw even the likes of Junet Mohammed got angry because they were like, okay, you are giving a ruling. Then why should you use such a language against us? Because Moses was telling them that whatever I've made is final. You can go find that ruling, whatever you can find it, wherever. You can read it. You can do whatever you want to do. But there is no single day you can discuss it on this floor. That was like, okay, is that the way to go? But before I proceed, I want to give you the final ruling from Moses Wetangula. This were his remarks in Parliament.
MCCP and MDG, that in my considered opinion, it would be imprudent to treat the 14 members elected to the House under the UDM, Pamoja African Alliance, Maendeleo Chap, and the Movement for Democracy and Growth, MDG, as part of a coalition that they have expressly distanced themselves from and their parties. I am therefore persuaded that the 14 members and their parties are part of the Kenya Kwanza coalition. This, in my view, would be fair and in accordance with the previous rulings by my predecessors on related matters. 3, that with the 14 members, the membership of the Kenya Kwanza coalition stands at 179 members, while the membership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party stands at 157 members. This, by implication, indicates that the Kenya Kwanza coalition is the majority party, and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party is the minority party in this House. As honorable members, in the tradition of the House and our standing orders and practice, once the Speaker makes a ruling such as the one I have made, is not subject to debate, it is not appealable, and it stands as it is. I want to take the opportunity, the Honorable Wandai and all members of the House, to salute you and thank you for the decorum that you have exhibited through the close to 1 hour that I delivered the ruling. I want to encourage the Order, Honorable Member. Order, Honorable Junet. Order, Honorable Members. Honorable Junet. Order, Honorable Junet. I have given direction. The ruling of the chair is a public document. It will be on the parliamentary website. You can get it in the course of the evening or tomorrow, depending on what the clerks will do. And you can analyze it, you can critique it, you can do many things about it except debating it on the floor of this house. I indulge the distinguished member for Ugunja, being your leader, to make a comment which he did, and we've taken it in the stride. And I've given him direction, and you can see how distinguished he is in respect of what I've said. I want to urge you members that we have called the next order which we had left before the ruling, and the member for Lagdera, if he's on the floor, he can continue the debate. If he's not, we give the floor to the next member. Go on, member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Lagdera, if you want to sit your position, we can give to somebody else.
Proceed. Right now. Thank you.
Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. The member for Lagdera, you will forfeit your position. You don't want to speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from him, and immediately he gave that ruling. Chaos erupted. People wanted to steal the mess. Don't know, is the mass, the mess, how you pronounce it. Depends who taught you in nursery school. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this, that we are having a government. You know, the freedom they were I am beginning to understand the kind of freedom Kenya Kwanza wanted. It's now dawning, although I have been doing my analysis on the kind of freedom, but then I'm beginning to understand the kind of freedom. Today you saw how court cases were being treated. If you belong to Azimio, kesi yako inatupiliwa mbali. If you belong to Kenya Kwanza, kesi yako, uliona what they did to baba yao Waititu, kesi yake ilichinjwa. You saw what they did to Waluke. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But let me say this. The Kenya Kwanza government is the government of intimidation. The intimidation they are applying against their opponents is the freedom they have been singing. Freedom is coming when we shall show you dust. That is the kind of freedom they were saying. Because we've waited freedom for a very long time. Freedom from high taxes. We are yet to get it as Kenyans. Freedom from the high cost of living. We are yet to get it. Freedom from the high cost of fuel. We are yet to get it. Freedom from the high cost of unga. We are yet to get it. But the freedom we are seeing is the freedom to benefit politicians themselves, ladies and gentlemen. But I pray for our country Kenya. Tuendeleni kuombea nchi yetu ya taifa. Nchi yetu tukufu ya Kenya, si ya taifa, nchi ni taifa. Tuendelee kuombea taifa letu la Kenya. We pray for it, for God to intervene, and one day we shall be given electoral justice. It doesn't matter how long it will take. We will continue to push. Myself, Kakasungura, I will push it from here. And I know one time God will grant us the justice we want. May God bless you. Asanteni sana.